more than you could handle, look into the digital version. Okay, look into the digital versions. I did it. Okay. Hi everyone, Tina here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am putting up a video, basically a list of teacher hacks to help us get ready to go back to work. And this video is part of a larger tag that was created by Thrifted Living. She is a vlogger at the YouTube channel Thrifted Living, and she contacted a whole bunch of teacher YouTubers and said, would you like to be a part of this? And since I had already scripted out several back to school vlogs, I was like, yes, I'm in, definitely for sure. So make sure you're on the lookout for a variety of videos coming out for back to school for teachers. And I will be sure to link Thrifted Living's YouTube channel in the description box below if you wish to check out her channel as well. So having said that, let's get straight to the teacher hacks. And my very first teacher hack is one that you should know well. And honestly, it's to start adjusting your own sleeping schedule now. You know, gone are the days of staying up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, binge watching Netflix and sleeping till noon. All too soon, we are going to be going back to bed very early and waking up even earlier. So you don't want to have that first day of school where you're laying in bed all night and you can't fall asleep because you're not on a routine, and then you have to face a whole classroom of brand new children the next day on no sleep. Start adjusting those sleeping schedules now. Number 2. This is a big one for me because I'm a mom, and even if you're not a mom, cooking, I actually enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy cooking under pressure. I don't enjoy cooking when I'm exhausted and stressed out. So having said that, cooking for my family once I go back to work is actually a colossal pain in the butt for me. So meal planning. I want to have at least the first month of school with a recipe that I'm cooking, preferably in double batches. So like what I cook Sunday, we will also eat Monday. What I cook Tuesday, we will also eat Wednesday. What I cook Thursday, we will also eat on Friday. So I'm planning on having like the first month's meal plan set, ready to go, and I'm planning on cooking in double batches, using a crock pot whenever possible, and having grocery lists, itemized grocery lists down to the very tiniest ingredient, because nothing will just throw your dinner into a tailspin faster than having a missing ingredient. So honestly, when September is exhausting, September is hard, especially if you're a teacher with the little ones, K1, 2. I'm talking to you. You know, you're on the go constantly because that first month it's like herding cats. It really is. And you come home, your feet are sore, your throat is sore because you're using a teacher voice after not having used a teacher voice for all summer, and you're just exhausted. So if you already know what you're going to cook for dinner and you already know all the ingredients are in the house, that is going to make your life infinitely easier. Number 3 is to, right now, while you have a little time left, work on all those letters that we have to write. Your get to know me letter. You know, odds are if you're, taught before, you probably already have this letter stored on your computer's hard drive, but maybe you've changed grade levels or you're modifying your curriculum, so you need to go in there and tweak some things. That'll take no time at all. But once the school year starts, or once you're already in your PD days, time becomes very precious. So take care of that get to know me letter, your parent notes home, supply lists, class lists, snack lists, your Remind app letter that you're sending home, all of those notes. Write them now while you have time, while you've got time to select the clip arts you want and make everything cute and adorable. So, and it just, again, it's something you don't have to think about once you report to work. Number 4. This is another one you don't want to have to think about once you report to work. A lot of school districts, A lot of school districts are adopting SLOs, SLO', student learning objectives. And every year, if your district has adopted the SLOW program, you have to write objectives for your students' growth that year. And I'll be honest, this past year, we were literally like in a profession. We were at a PD. It was a half a day in-service training because we were learning how to do the SLOWs. And the person giving the PD looked at us and said, okay, enter your SLOW now. And I was just like, I had no clue what to write because I was put on the spot. I wasn't prepared. I hadn't had a chance to think about it. And my brain was spinning faster than a hamster wheel. So honestly, I want to go to work this year with at least 5 SLOWs in my back pocket. So, and granted, they have to have administrator approval. That's why I'm telling you to have at least 5 written down, because odds are 1 or 2 of them, your principal is going to object to them. So have at least 5 of them ready to go now. Spend today, spend tomorrow working on your student learning objectives. Write them down and tuck them away in a very safe place so you don't lose them. And you won't be caught off guard and put on the spot with a spinning hamster wheel later this year. Number 5 is to do a rough outline of your first 4 weeks worth of lesson plans. Nope, I am not crazy, and I'm not talking about doing 4 weeks of perfectly detailed, flawlessly written lesson plans. I'm talking bullet points. All right. If you have a math series and it's mandated, like my school district's math series is, you already know that you're doing, lesson 1-1 on this day, 1-2 the next day, 1-3. So that's fine. Put that in there. But when you write that out, make sure you put a few bullet points in there so you at least know what lesson 1-4 is. You might want to at least write your objective for that lesson and 2 bullet points that tell you that on this day you're going to need this material and you're doing this page. Okay. So, but same thing for, even like your groups or, your focus lessons. Right now, again, when you can do it in front of the TV set, a Diet Coke in hand or a glass of wine in hand, and you're not rushed and you're not pressured, now is a great time to knock out a few weeks worth of lesson plans. Number 6, this is a big one. When you're a teacher, you are blown away by the sheer amount of data coming your way. And I'm not just talking about student data. I'm talking about just information overload. You get 6 emails a day from the office. You get 2 emails a day from the central office. You're getting emails from parents. You are in the middle of teaching something and the school secretary calls you in the middle of a lesson to tell you that you need to do so-and-so. You see something on Teachers Pay Teachers and you need to make a note. Where are you going to put all of this information? And it's a lot. Organization, it's probably the most important thing a teacher can have is good organization. I recommend keeping it all in one spot. I really do. I use my teacher planner a lot for these things, my Erin Condren one. That's one of the reasons why I get the extra pockets in there, the sleeves. So this way, if I have a piece of paper, I just tuck it in one of those sleeves, or I can put it in the keep it all together folder part of it. Notes go straight into the planner. Information that, an email from the principal, I'm not going to print the email, but whatever vital information is in that email is immediately recorded into one of the note-taking pages of the planner. If you don't have an Erin Condren planner, not a problem. Any binder will do. And you may even want to make a binder where it's divided by 12 months. Go online, find yourself a free printable calendar, print out the whole school year's worth of calendar pages, put some tab dividers in there, and this way, any piece of paper that comes your way, pop those rings open, hole punch it, slap it in there. It's done. You've got it. And this way, when the principal says, did you do such and such? And you're like, what the heck is he talking about? Because it will happen. You can at least run back to that binder, open it up, flip through those pages and go, aha, that's what he's talking about, and get it done. Yes, I knew there'd be a lot of papers to grade, a lot of student-generated papers, but I was not prepared for how much paperwork was involved with teaching, especially if you have a classroom with children who have IEPs, or the special ed students, or resource room students, or students who are part of the RTI process and they're on the tiers for RTI. It's overwhelming. You need a central hub to keep all that stuff together. You really do. Number 7. And for number 7, I'm going to tell you to read a book. Seriously, read a book. Right now, my brain, well, it's actually, for me, it's not the same because, one, I'm a YouTuber. So I'm doing this stuff all summer long. Second, I've been involved in a lot of professional development training this summer vacation. And next week, I'm actually in charge of providing teacher in-service training for several days, which, can I just say, I'm very nervous about that. It's weird. I can talk to this camera. I'm calm as can be. I can talk to 36 kids in a classroom. I'm calm as can be. You put me in front of a class of my peers, and suddenly I have to tell them what to do. And I just become this nervous ball of energy, and I stutter and I sweat and I get the rapid heartbeat. And it's not until like an hour into it that my body finally starts to calm down. So wish me luck, because I'll be honest, I'm a nervous wreck knowing I have to do this in-service training or be the instructor for in-service training next week. But anyway, back to the video. As I was saying, in summer vacations past, I'll be honest, I checked out. I just completely checked out and didn't give school a second thought. Honestly though, once it gets to be a couple weeks back before going back to school, you really do kind of want to start to get back into a school frame of mind. You really do. One, it'll ease the transition from summer to school. And second, it'll kind of even get you a little excited and a little motivated instead of being like, oh man, summer's almost over. Instead, you can read some, instructional materials and like, oh, I can't wait to try this. That's the goal, at least, to go from, oh man, to I can't wait. I've been working on reading a couple of different books this summer. One of the ones I am taking with me, I'm going on a mini vacation, leaving actually tomorrow, is this one, The Literacy of Teachers Playbook by Jennifer Saravallo. If you are familiar with the Reading Strategies book or the Writing Strategies book, then you are familiar with Jennifer Saravallo. She is the author of those two books, which to me I call the Bibles. But so I have not had a chance to read this one yet. It is going with me on my vacation because it's not a very long book, and this is the kind of book that I can get through this in less than a day. I can actually probably about 5 hours I could read this. So this is what's on deck for my vacation. One tip I also want to share with you guys is to possibly buy your teacher resource books on an e-reader, because one of the ones I've been reading is called Growing Readers by Kathy Collins. It's a fabulous book. It's also as insanely expensive. It really is. And I was at the training in Lansing, and I was able to flip through the book, and I realized there's literally like no photographs in this book. There's not a lot of, tables or charts or references. It's just a lot of paragraphs. So I actually bought that book for my Kindle, and it was like 50% of the price. I got this for like $20 instead of like almost $40 if I had actually bought the hard copy of the book. Another book I did the same thing for was called Who's Doing the Work? How to Say Less So Readers Can Do More by Jan Birkins and Kim Yaris. I'm loving this book. And basically this book, it's something most of us know already, but in the moment, it flies out of our head. And that is for teachers, honestly, to just zip it. Seriously, zip it. A lot of times we swoop in and rescue the children when they start to hit a frustration level or they begin to struggle. This book is basically a wonderful way to stop doing that. It's advice for, let the kids struggle. And I do a lot of that already, but even though I'm really enjoying this book, because even though I like to let the kids struggle and I tell them it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to not get the answer, but at least you tried, even I still need a reminder of, who's really doing the work. Is the kid doing the work? Or when I rescue the child, am I the one doing the work and the child doesn't really learn anything? If there are a bunch of resources out there that you're dying to read, but the sticker shock for the retail price of them is more than you can handle, definitely look into the digital versions of them, because it's significantly cheaper. But then like this one, I did purchase the paperback because there are a lot of tables and charts and things in here that I find this easier to read on a print version versus an e-reader. So great way to save money though. Teacher hack number 8 is to make sure you go back to work with a teacher toolkit. You are going to need tools. It's amazing, especially if you're hanging things, building new furniture from IKEA, whatever it is you're trying to do. I was shocked at how often I use my hammer and my nails and my screwdrivers. Needle nose pliers. Needle nose pliers really are the best thing for getting those really stuck in there staples out of the walls and out of bulletin boards. You will need packaging tape. You will need duct tape, especially if you want to get like a pretty color duct tape instead of just the gray. Command hooks, command hooks, command hooks, command hooks. A lot of times, a lot of classrooms are made out of cylinder blocks. Well, you can't really hang curtains on cylinder blocks, but you can stick up 2 command hooks and just drop the rod right in there, and boom, you have curtain rods hanging on the walls. So yes, definitely have a basket full of tools and any resource you think you might need. String, you almost always need string to hang things from the ceiling. So it's you just want to try to think of everything, because there's nothing worse than driving to work, you're ready to set up your classroom, and then you realize, doggone it, I don't have a hammer, I don't have a screwdriver to put this shelf together, I forgot to bring the string, and now I can't hang my signs from the ceilings. I've been there, I've done that mistake, and it's so frustrating. Hack number 9 is to get your class list and go through all of your student files. Now this one you may have to wait a little bit until it's like closer to the school year, or you might even have to wait until the school year actually starts to get a hold of your student records. In my school district, actually in my state, they're called C69s. I don't know if that's a universal term or if that's just a Michigan term, but so every child has a C69, and it is really, really, really important that you get your hands on those things as soon as possible, because it will allow you to figure out right away, do I have any children in here who have an IEP? I cannot tell you how many times it's been 2 weeks into the school year and I suddenly get an email from the social worker or the director of special ed letting me know that in 3 days we're having an IEP for a student in my classroom. I don't really have any information or data on this child. It's only been the first 2 weeks of school. I hate when that happens. So as soon as possible, get in those records. What student has an IEP, so this way you can at least make a point of spending a few minutes a day with that child trying to collect some data to go to that meeting armed and ready to participate. What children are on the RTI process? What students in your room are coming to you with asthma? Who has an allergy? These are all things that you really need to know, and you need to know it really quick. You really do. So, and also this even goes to part of your SLOS learning objectives, because I don't know about your districts, but in mine, the SLOS learning objectives are being tied to our evaluative process. And so you definitely need to identify your class makeup right away. You need to identify outliers who may skew the overall data coming in for your class that goes toward your evaluation. So yes, that information is really, it's more important than ever getting it figured out right away. Number 10. This is a big one for me. It is to create your digital classrooms now. I did a back to school vlog last year, and I'm repeating the strategy because it's a big one. Getting all of those class names into your classroom, digital classrooms, whether it's Class Dojo, oh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Class Dojo, Raz Kids, the maths, whatever math series you have. It takes time to get all that information in there. And especially if you want to make sure your students have passwords and usernames on like the first or second day of school to these different sites, you need to get that information uploaded as quickly as possible in there. Now, most of you probably don't have a class list yet. You may have to wait a little while until it's finally posted online. But if you have one that is handwritten from last year, I actually have my class list from last school year. When the kindergarten teachers wrote out the new list, they made a Xerox copy and gave it to me. Now, I know that list will change. I'm sure of that list right now, 3 of those kids have moved away, 2 new ones have been added, probably at least 2 parents have put in a request to have their child move from my room to the other room. So I know it's not a finalized list, but even still, it's still better to create those classrooms online now and then have to change 5 kids, 7 kids later, as opposed to have to start from scratch with all of those class lists once the school year has already begun. And finally, my very last teacher hack is a fun one. It is to go shopping. Every year, kids get new school supplies, they get new clothes, they get a new coat, they get new backpacks. Well, you know what? Just because you're a grown-up doesn't mean you can't get in on the action. Now is the perfect time to go through your closet, chuck what's old, chuck what you don't like anymore, get rid of those flats that give you a blister every time you wear them, and go shopping and get a few new outfits for work. Have a little fun, maybe call your girlfriends and make a day of it. And with that, those are all of my teacher hacks for the 2017 coming school year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me in the future, click the subscribe button, and be sure to check the description box for the link to Thrifted Living's classroom, as well as the link to the books I mentioned if you wanted to check them out on Amazon as well. And with that, I'll talk to you later.